Sheryl Davis. Is Sheryl Davis? I saw her earlier.
Right here.
Where's Sheryl Davis? Oh, come on up. Director Dr. Davis. She's going to say a few words. Director Dr. Davis, come on up. Come on up. Another strong sister doing marvelous, beautiful things in the city and county of San Francisco. And I just want her to say a few words to the people. And just come in your own way. Just come in your own way. She gonna kill me later, but that's okay.
See, I ain't like the mayor. I can't be up here. I'm distracted when other people talking while I'm talking. She's a teacher. Just happy Juneteenth as somebody who was actually born in Texas, and it is really a national holiday down there for my folks. I'm grateful for the mayor's declaration. I'm grateful for the president, but I think ultimately this is not the end of it all, right? Because I think if we're going to be really honest, Juneteenth was a signing of a piece of paper that was already 2 years in action. So we're not really as free as we think we are. So let Juneteenth be a day for us to remember that we still are in the fight and in the struggle. And similar to the folks in Texas, some of us have not yet opened our eyes to the reality of freedom. So I just want to say, let's celebrate Juneteenth, but let's not relax, let's not sit down, and let's not forget that we need to keep moving. She talking about sing a song. No, I'm not doing no song.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you. Let me see if I got a poem. No, that's Sarah. I can't do that. This is one of my favorite poets is Maya Angelou. And there's a line in there, there are a couple lines that I love. One is, she says, "Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. See, I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I try to tell them, they think I'm telling lies." Right? So our beauty, our uniqueness, our being special is not wrapped in how we look. It is wrapped in who we came from, where we come from, who we come from. That is who we are. And so she goes on to say, when you see me walking by, it ought to make you proud. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, phenomenally, that's me.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know, that Mayor Breed and President Walton, through police reform, have given the black community $120 million. $120 million. 60 million for this year, 60 million for next year, and also in her budget, she also put 60 million to the black community as a baseline, and we want to make sure as black people that we're going to honor her wishes, that we're going to push back on the Board of Supervisors, and we're going to push back on the Board of Supervisors, being black in San Francisco. And so our group is called Mega Black Budget Watchdog Group. So may I have them come and stand beside me on both sides. Mega Black Budget Watchdog Group. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting. And we're not afraid to go up in the Board of Supervisors chambers and let them know. Black folks, 3 reports, 55 years. Black folks are worse off now than we were 55 years ago, and we want our due. We want our due. Come on, tell me, come on, power to the people. We want our due. We want our due. We have it coming. And then the other thing I want to say, Mayor Breed, she's still here, is this. Y'all ain't don't be putting your hands on that 60 million, all you 54 departments. You You 54 departments, take some of that money from your budget and give it to the black community, because you have neglected us for 55 years. So you're not going to use us with the monies that Mayor Breed and President Walton has given us to say, oh, that's enough. Go over there and get it from Director Davis. She has all the money. No. So we're pushing back. And so I want to introduce our Watchdog group: Tanya Williams, Nate Ford, John Henry, Tina Hines, and there's Monique Francine. And so Tanya is going to come up and speak to you about what our demands are for a Mega Black Budget Watchdog group. Thank you.
Alrighty. There's not enough noise in this audience. I need to hear y'all. I got some questions for y'all. You ready? So on the 1st of January in 1863, that was 158 years ago, the 16th president of the United States, named Abraham Lincoln, signed into effect an Emancipation Proclamation which changed the legal status under the federal law of more than 3.5 million enslaved African Americans, and let's be serious, we were called Negroes then, from enslaved to free. So I got one question for y'all. Anybody who's black in San Francisco, answer my question. Are we free? No. Okay, there you go. So now you know why we had to establish what we've established. The Mega Black Budget Watchdog Group demands that the city and county close the gaps of black San Franciscans. 3 reports in 55 years studying black San Franciscans found we are worse off today than we were back then. So, here go our demands. Number 1, we demand that $60 million be a baseline for the Human Rights Commission to continue the Dream Keepers initiative for black San Franciscans. Number 2, we demand $40 million to address black disparities in closing educational gaps, mass incarceration gaps, gaps in job training programs, and to reestablish the black workforce and to pay the fines and fees that are associated with those disparities. Number 3, we demand culpability, meaning we want them to be held accountable, all right, from all 54 city and county departments to be held accountable again, so that everybody can hear me, for the disparities that they have deliberately caused to black San Franciscans due to a lack of dollars, care, which they have, right? We think, well, we know they got the dollars. We don't know about the care. We're still working on that, okay? To this day has failed to address in our community. Number 4, we demand that the Controller's Office conduct a 15-year audit of previous monies given to the black community and compare these dollars to all other ethnicities who receive funding in the same 15-year period. And lastly, right, if we do not accomplish financial equity, we will never be free. Right. So let me be clear with y'all. We're not asking anymore. Right. We're not demanding. Right. We are demanding. We're not begging. It's not about begging. I told you, it started 158 years ago. Right. So stop. It's time for us to get what we came here for, right? We, the Mega Black Budget Watch Group, we, the Mega Black Budget Watchdog Group, unapologetically are demanding that the city and county of San Francisco finally address the disparities of black San Franciscans. Thank you.
All right, power to the people. Oh, y'all sound so weak. Come on, say it like you mean it. Power to the people. Oh, I love it. Power to the people. Yes, that's what we came out here, to regain our power. That's what we need. We need power. Right. Black power in the city and county of San Francisco. And so I'm going to bring up, we need power and environmental justice. So come on up, my sister. Yeah. with me? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna try a little exercise. It's called call and response. Y'all ready to call? I'm ready to call. Y'all ready to respond? Yeah. All right. Come on. When I say can we, you'll see live. Can we? Yeah. All right, y'all woke. When I say can we, can y'all say live? Can we? Yeah. More power to the people. Okay, I'm here to speak to you guys today about environmental justice. Environmental justice is a health rights issue. It's a human rights issue, and it's a fight that's been going on for decades in the Bayview. But I'm here today to say that it's not just a black people's issue and a Bayview issue. It's a San Francisco issue. Okay, we have been suffering by chemical warfare and all the chemical warfare and the toxins that are inside the environment and in our soul and our dust and our communities. And I say that we are not going to take it no more. Can I hear no more? No more. Stop killing us. Can I say no more? No more. Stop killing us. Okay? This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer about what I say. It's no longer about what I can imagine. It's about what we can prove. I say test our bodies. Give us all tox screens. Y'all with me? Yeah. Okay, do you know what a tox screen is? That's when they test your body for all of the chemical and cancer-causing chemicals that are inside of your body that are distinct from the places where you live. Yeah. We say in a very highly industrialized community, and we are disproportionately impacted by chemical warfare, toxic air pollution, and water soil samples that are not good for us and conducive for our health. I'm asking for the support of all of you beautiful black people out here to come and to address me and talk to me and see how you can help. If we do not raise the roof about something we've been going through for decades, it's not going to be a cover-up by the big houses that go up in our communities that we cannot afford to live in. Okay? We will no longer be the pictures that are just on the walls. We got to let them know that we are here, we want to be heard, and we want our environmental issues to be impacted. Because if we don't address that, I'm sorry to say, there's not enough money in America to give to us to put in our pockets. We can do barbecues all day long, but we still, with our black bodies, is burning at the cross. My name is Arieann Harrison. I'm from Marie Harrison Community Foundation, Inc., and I approve this message.
Okay, the next person who's coming up, because we are, before we party, because at 2 o'clock, we're going to be partying in these streets right here. We're going to have a dance party right in the streets at 2 o'clock. So we are going to bring up the CBO's concerns of their plight in San Francisco, and we're going to bring up Dr. Arieann Jones.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here and just want to welcome everybody to the beginning of our Juneteenth weekend. We, as the CEO of Westside Community Services and the lead of the Health and Wellness cohort of Black to the Future, both of which are in the audience, I'm happy to see all my people out there. We are fighting to provide services to the black community. For us, the struggle continues. We have done what we have done since slavery, since Juneteenth, since Jim Crow, and through forced incarceration, inadequate medical care, forced hospitalization in Negro lunatic asylums, unfair housing policies, and continued trauma by the very people parading as the help we've been waiting for. I am so happy to be a part of this collaborative here because every day Westside has to fight while we have been awarded tax dollars to provide services to our community. We are reimbursed by the Department of Public Health 1 year after we deliver those services. Most of our partner agencies have gone out of business. Organizations like Morrisania West, because they could not survive in this climate. Westside is struggling every day because we cannot get paid on our contracts and we are denied the critical funding that we need. I am happy to announce that we have just opened the Billie Holiday Community Wellness Center, founded by Cedric Akbar. And we are looking forward to having crisis stabilization services for our community around police brutality, community violence, stress management, because we realize that we have been bamboozled. Let me tell you why. We've been bamboozled because we have been taught to believe if we seek out mental health services, then there must be a flaw in our character. That's like if somebody cut your leg off and you're hopping and you're trying to say, I don't need to hop because they cut my leg off. We have been beat down by these systems, and we are beat down every day. I cry when I see how we treat our returning citizens. We should be welcoming them back to the community. Instead, they are denied housing, mental health services, and support that they need to get back on their feet when they have been sucked into a system of profit for white corporations. So Westside is going to continue to fight, and all we ask is that the city fund us and treat us right. We have been on corrective action for 11 years now because the city says that we're not sustainable. We're not sustainable because we're forced to advance the city $5 million each year before we can get funded. And that is why we are one of the few remaining Black-led, community-based organizations providing community mental health services to this community, because our founders were able to buy property, and we have assets that we can use. But the city has told us most recently that the only way that they will continue to give us contracts is if we take out a line of credit and that we continue to advance them this money, even though they are a multi-billion-dollar corporation. This is why we are here today. Juneteenth and all the tactics that we've experienced since then continue today, and I invite you to continue our struggle. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I say good afternoon, everyone. My name is Linda Fadeke of Richardson. I know I'm wearing many hats. The last speaker spoke about environmental justice. You all know me as the person that shut down the Baby Hunters Point power plant a long time ago. So I agree environmental justice should be priority number one. I am here today. I want to acknowledge the non-Black people here because it takes a human family for all of us to support each other. So thank you all for being here today. My pledge today to all of you here is that the money that is earmarked, I want to make sure that Wealth and Disparity by Phelicia Jones, those are the organizations that we support in our community. And when we look at the list for funding, let's make sure that all are in there. So thank you, Phelicia, for decades and decades of leadership in this community. You've been at the forefront. And you've not reneged. You've been at the forefront. I saw you in Bayview. I saw you in the Western Addition. I saw you in the Richmond. I will see you all there. May God bless you, Sister Phelicia Jones. May God bless our Mayor, London Breed. She was the first mayor in the country that shut down, and today San Franciscans are alive and well. Let's not forget. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, my name is Diane Smith, and I'm the host and creator of San Francisco News, a show dedicated to positivity and actionable steps for the advancement of humanity. First and foremost, I would like to begin by acknowledging the mayor, which I did. Fortunately, I gave her some flowers earlier because I know her schedule was full. She may not have been here at this time. And also, I gave flowers to Phelicia Jones. I'd like to acknowledge Phelicia Jones. She's grassroots and for her relentless efforts. And I'd also like to thank everyone that's important here, which is you. I just want to thank everyone for their relentless efforts. Today I will share 3 issues concerning San Francisco housing. 1, something we all know, the lack of affordability or inclusionary affordable housing. 2, lack of housing inventory. 3, lack of low-income housing. Out of these 3, number 1, the mayor's plan to increase, the one I like the most is the mayor's plan to increase the city's affordable housing inventory through much needed new construction and also reallocation of existing structures. Data has supported the effectiveness of this plan. My plan is to learn through extensive research everything about the policy I like and provide my findings in an upcoming San Francisco News episode. I believe it is premature to suggest any solution without a clear understanding of the policy, the mission, the strategic plan, and the life model. We must avoid unintended consequences. That's what we're suffering from in the black community. Why the exodus? Because we had modernization, that's cool. But how do we get left out? Those are the unintended consequences. So we must look at the life models. So I have a lot of research to do. The wealth and disparities in the black community of San Francisco must end. Displacement of us must stop. Thanks again to the mayor, Phelicia Jones, and all in attendance.
Okay, so next up we're talking about substance abuse, and I'm not going to take too much, but you know, years ago there were quite a few black-led organizations doing rehabilitation and substance abuse. And then when it came down to harm reduction, and they put it in the legislation that San Francisco was a harm reduction city, then all of the black organizations had to close down. Because like I said, black folks, we can't do harm reduction. You know y'all need abstinence. Yeah. You know you need abstinence. Right. So we're going to bring up Cedric, Akbar, and Steve Clark to talk about it. And Craig Johnson.
Good afternoon on this pre-Juneteenth day. My name is Craig Johnson. I'm with Positive Direction Equal Change. I've been working in the substance abuse field for almost 30 years. I have seen a lot of changes, and the changes that I see today aren't good. They're really not good. We have people that are dying every day of fentanyl overdoses and being woke up with Narcan, but they're not being provided any kind of other services that they may need so they can be drug-free. What has happened in San Francisco is that we done forgot about faith-based, social model, NA, AA, abstinence-based. They don't have nothing for that. They only have what they call a harm reduction model. But the thing I always have about that, if you add 10 people what harm reduction is, you'll get 10 different answers. But if you ask somebody what abstinence means and what recovery means, the answer is universal. And I'm a firm believer that we need more treatment in San Francisco that's abstinence-based and less harm reduction treatment. And what we've been pushing for and arguing about and hollering about, that we want our people to be accountable, not comfortable. We don't need to be comfortable. We need to be accountable so we can change our lives. I am a recovering addict. I haven't used drugs in over 30 years. And the only way that happened is with accountability and my community being behind me every day. And that's what we need. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Celebration of Juneteenth. So, first thing I want to say is I want to thank our women for supporting and holding this down for us. Because what I saw today, I saw a lot of women up here, and I see a lot of women that's fighting this fight. But I don't see no men up here. One thing I want to say today, right now, is that we as African American men, it's time to stand up, not only for our women, but we also need to stand up for our children. We need to stand up for our families today. You should make a commitment to yourself, every man here today, a personal commitment, that we will now take a stand and take charge of our own lives. Because one thing I will say this, you can blame whoever you want to blame, but we're responsible ultimately for ourselves. That's one thing I just wanted to say to start this off. The other thing is just, when Juneteenth came, it took 3 years almost before they got the news in Galveston, Texas, about that the slaves were free. And even when the slaves were free, they told them you were free, but they asked the master, which way do we go, boss? And we still in that same position today, where we asking and which way to go, boss. And we really need to come out of that mentality. We need to come out of that beg mentality. We need to come out of the mentality of always asking somebody else for something. It's time for us again to take a stand today and make changes within our own selves. Now, I've been working in this substance abuse field for a long time. And one of the things, like Dr. Arieann Jones has said, she is about the only African-American organization that's still getting funded. And even if she's getting funded, you're catching hell. So what we have to do as African-Americans, with Mega Black and with everyone else, you start demanding that money come to your actual community, that people that are assisting you. We have to stop being dictated by the dominant culture on which way we're going to treat our own people. All you have to do is walk down any block in this street in San Francisco and you can see what has happened. We have been failed, and I'm going to say this, we've been failed by the Public Defender's Office, we've been failed by the District Attorney's Office, we've been failed by the Department of Public Health, we have been failed by all of those people. They sit and take pictures with you, smile with you, and use you for photo ops, but they don't do a damn thing for you. So today, we need to really stand here today and stand up for ourselves and speak up. You need to be up in that rotunda when they're talking about money for you. You need to, because you pay taxes too.
That's right.
Everybody here pay taxes. And you also get to dictate and determine what happens for your own life. So I just say on this day that we come together as one and stop working individually. My brothers, we got to stand up, man.
All right.
What you say? The brother told me to say Happy Father's Day. All right.
Come on now,
Okay, that's a hard act to follow. But the thing about it is, I'm already following because I'm with them. I'm with Positive Direction Equal Change. But one thing about it, first of all, I want to thank Phelicia. Positive Direction Equal Change and Phelicia, we go back, all the way back to the Mario Woods. Phelicia been doing a whole lot of things, and when we got together with Mario Woods, we made some things happen. Like Cedric said, we made some things happen because we was in this rotunda. We went up in here, we shook them up like Elvis Presley. We told them what we wanted. We had demands. We demanded. We got the chief. We got him up out of there. He got him fired. And then we doubled back and got a holiday for Mario Woods. So, you know, this thing works when we come together, when we get together and do things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, doubling back to what we're doing right now. Look, things has got to change. Things got to we got to get it back like it was before it got like it is in regards to this recovery thing. I'm talking about this change thing, because this harm reduction thing is doing more harm to us than it is doing to anybody else, to the people of color. Because once again, I got 20-something years of sobriety, but, and I'm gonna say this in closing, but if I would have had to do the harm reduction piece, I wouldn't have had 24 hours. You understand? Because you ain't gonna tell me I can have one 5 days a week, but to take 2 days off. I'm gonna go 7 days and I'm gonna go back to the penitentiary for the 15th time. But now anyway, in closing, I want to thank Phelicia for stepping up, being the soldier that she is. And I want to thank all you females, and I'm gonna do just like Cedric say. I'm gonna be a man, and I'm gonna stand behind y'all. And when y'all need me to stand in front of y'all, I'm gonna stand in front of you women. You know, with that, Positive Direction Equal Change is out.
All right, we got the music back. I was like, oh my God, how we gonna have this dance party, right? Because that's important. But also important is that we talked about the Mega Black Budget Watchdog group, and now we got some Board of Supervisors here, right? And so, you know, just want to let them know before Shamann comes up. Hello? Because this is serious business right here. Right. You know, this is about the Board of Supervisors approving monies for the black community here in San Francisco. And I am not talking about President Walton. I'm not talking about the 60 million for the next 2 years that you and Mary Breed took from the police department and the sheriff's department. I ain't talking about that money. That money is hands off. But what I am talking about is the monies that you guys are now talking about in your budget meetings from these 54 departments. The 54 departments who have neglected, the black community for 55 years. And now they want to come and run and take this 60 million and act like they giving us something when you ain't gave us shit. You ain't gave us shit. And so we're not asking, we're not begging, we are demanding a rightful place in the city and county of San Francisco to be treated fairly, to be treated with equality, to be treated with justice, and to be treated with equity. Because when I call on y'all, like y'all here right now, this is how we have to come. If we don't come like this, they don't listen. If we don't come like this, they don't listen. So we have to come suited and booted, ready to throw down for our rights. Hands up! Hands up!
They got it. They got it. They don't want to give it to us. That's why we here, y'all.
Hands up!
Reparations.
Hands
They don't
up!
want to give it to us. We ain't gonna stop demanding.
And so that was my warm-up. That was my warm-up. If you haven't heard, Phelicia is in the building. And this is how I roll. Some folks say, oh, Phelicia, you know, maybe you should curt your style. Maybe you should say things a little different. Hell no, I ain't saying nothing different. I'm saying it just like this.
Say it loud.
Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Say it loud. Say it loud. That's right. So I warmed it up for President Walton. He got. All right now.
How we want it.
And before we go, I just want to acknowledge one of our biggest supporters of wealth and disparities. And I want to make a correction in which Linda said, wealth and disparities is not going after no money. I do this work from my heart. It's grassroots. That's right. If you want to donate to us, you donate. But I have a 501c3 called Hope Preservation, Inc. Had one for over 20 years. I ain't into that no more. I support black people in what they do, but I'm not looking for no money because I do what I do from my heart. You know, I do what I do from my heart. And so, but I do want to just give a shout out real quick before President Walton comes up with his crew, is to Andrew Castile. Andrew Castile, raise your hand, brother. He has been a staunch supporter. A staunch supporter, not only of wealth and disparities, but black organizations across the nation. Across the nation. And so, Andrew, thank you for loving wealth and disparities in the black community. And also, you're with your wife, am I right? No? Oh, okay, all right. So, my mistake.
Phelicia about to get people in trouble out here. Happy official Juneteenth. I'm gonna repeat, happy official Juneteenth. Phelicia must have known this was gonna be an historic day and picked this day. Because as you know, the President of the United States has signed Juneteenth into an official federal holiday. Happy official Juneteenth. And we know why we celebrate Juneteenth, because even though there's propaganda that tells you we were free, and even though we're really not free today, we were not free until they got word in Texas. And it took years later for them to get word in Texas that we were free. And so I want to say to everybody here, this is an historic day. I want to thank you for celebrating the freedom, at least in terms of being on paper. But I also want to challenge everyone here today, like Phelicia said, to fight with us on a day-to-day. Last year, we suffered from so many injustices that were not new. They were not new. They were just captured on camera. They were just captured on social media. But those injustices were not new and continue to this day. I also want to say thank you to Supervisor Safai, who is here with us this afternoon. To Supervisor Raphael Mandelman, who is here with this afternoon. And to all of my colleagues who fight in solidarity to make sure that we are not only recognized, but that we receive the support that we've been fighting for decades. All right. And so I have to get back to budget, but let me just say this. You heard Phelicia talk about the $60 million carved out for the Black community this year. You heard Phelicia talk about the $60 million carved out for the Black community next year, a total of $120 million. You heard her talk about the fact that not only does that need to be baselined, but we need to add on top of that because the Black community deserves that. We do have a reparations task force in place right now as we speak. And that task force is looking at all the injustices we have suffered from as a Black community here in San Francisco. They are prioritizing those injustices. They're going to monetize a reparations plan and package that is going to demonstrate our real commitment in San Francisco to not only improving the negative outcomes for Black folks, but also to address the wealth gap that exists and provide the Black community with an opportunity to build wealth generationally here in San Francisco. And we won't stop until that fight is won, but we are definitely well on our way, and that is happening because of all of you. So again, I want to say happy official Juneteenth. Thank you for your commitment and dedication. But this fight is 365 days a year, not just on Juneteenth holiday. Thank you.